I have some bad traits instead of you.
I feel like there should be an award handed over to us.
Yeah.
For elevating UK gala dressing. And I feel like that's why now I'm so conscious of like things that I actually promote.
Yes,
like before when I first started, I don't think I really understood
the influence
I have.
That's a good one. We haven't had like something this
Yes,
serious
this
before.
is a good one.
My first impression is just making sure I look nice rather than let him know I've got money, because I don't need you to know I've got money. I want you to know me first.
One Extra presents Pressed.
Hi guys, it's your girl Adeola Patronne. You know the vibes already.
Hey guys, it's me, Mariam Musa, your Miss Unproblematic, and welcome back to the Press Podcast. Woo!
So this episode, I was saying if you've been listening, there was an episode I said to Maz, I wanted her to list everything that I've influenced her. Yeah. And then she was like, and you need to list everything she's influenced on me.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's take it back and actually bring that today.
Oh, how do we start? Because I feel like we spent so much time together now.
We might even forget.
Yeah, we might forget. And I feel like we've taken so much from each other, and it would actually be good to kind of digest it and see like the positives and also maybe the negatives as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because I have some bad traits instead of you.
Okay.
Should we start with some 3 good things and like go into details? Do you want to start or should I start?
You start.
Okay, cool. So the first thing that I feel like Adeola has like positively influenced me on will be water. Okay, Adeola, this girl drinks water. She makes me feel bad when I'm not drinking water. I thought I was all right. Like at least I'll drink it like at least once a day, like whatever. This girl always has it around her in the house, and she'll just be drinking. So I feel like watching you drink made me realize I do not drink enough water, and that really positively impacted me. Because even guys to the actual water brand. So she drinks this special water from this shop. It's not that special. But now that I kept drinking that water, so now when she changed her water up. I was like at her house once. I was like, this tastes funny. This isn't your usual one, because I was so used to the one that she was drinking before. So that's one I'd say. And then on top of that, guys, there's even been a development to the water. So if you guys don't know, which is actually crazy if you don't know this, but Adeola and I love Coke. Like I could drink it every day without fail, like, and the experience never ever like is less than what I'm always used to. So recently Adeola started drinking sparkling water, and then she was like, oh Maz, you should try it, you know. And I'm always like, I don't know, sparkling water just was never a thing. I think when I initially tried it the first time, it just wasn't slapping. But I think since drinking Coke and the experience, the euphoric fizz, the buzz, it just was exactly the same as that sparkling water. I literally drank it today and I was like, this tastes like Coke but without the sugar. Like I'd like to explain that. I felt like I was drinking Coke. So now I'm on the sparkling water. Now I don't need to drink Coke. Well, I will, but I feel like I don't as much.
When you feel a bit bad, you'll just be like, okay, let me drink sparkling water just for that sensation.
Exactly. So that's something that's really positive, I think, because that's good for the health, it's good for skin, and also it's just good overall. Like I was saying it to one of the girls outside, that how even having a Coke at nighttime, the tongue,
heaviness on your tongue is a lot.
Yeah, and at least with that, I can drink that at nighttime and have that buzz and not wake up in the morning like,
Yeah.
So that's my first positive of yours. What can you say about me?
Okay, so the first one I will say is my dog. I feel like, you definitely influenced me in getting a dog because I don't think I ever would have got one with you, especially like seeing how you were with Mimi, and then I obviously looked after Mimi, so then I got Stormy.
Do you feel like getting a dog has kind of changed you a little bit as well? Because I feel like you've become more nurturing.
Yes.
Yeah, you're so nurturing with her. Like even when you're like, oh my baby, like you get so gushy with her, and it's like I never get to see that. So I think like getting a dog, I can imagine you as a mum now. Like I can see what you'd be, what kind of mum you'll be. Like this girl, if her daughter isn't allowed, like for example, chips from McDonald's, she won't give her daughter chips from McDonald's. She'll be like, no, she's not allowed it.
And then you'll be the auntie that she goes to. And then you will spoil. I know the kind of mum you'll be. She'll
100%.
spoil.
Yeah.
Our kid, well, my kids.
Yeah, she'll be like, but Auntie Maz's house, she lets me, blah, blah, blah. That's how I can imagine it. You're like, well, you're not at Auntie Maz's house, you're home.
Literally, because guys, when I give Stormy to Maz, Stormy just has so much fun because I feel like she gets to let loose a bit. I think I would be an uptight parent. Like I'll just always be worried about, oh my gosh, this, but they say they can't do this, and that. Whereas Maz will be a bit more lenient. Like let them have fun. They can still have a bit of sugar here and there. Whereas I'll be like, no.
Because I'd always, like, even at your house, I'll always be like, I'll let her try some sausage.
Yeah.
Because I just don't like her dog eating like human food. Like it has to be strictly dry food. Only because she had the worst experience with her dog one time. The one time she gave her dog wet food, oh my God, she said never again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then another thing you've influenced me is just living life more, babe. Like the way Maz, is just always happy spirits, good spirits. So even sometimes when I'm in a bad mood, I just think, well, Maz obviously will be in a bad mood at some point, but you would never know. And I just always kind of like want to be like that. So sometimes I try to be a bit more like that, or just like say yes to more things that I would probably say no to, like going out, or just like, oh, just for the experience, babe. Like I just want to do this for the experience. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it does make sense. So like you have influenced me to let loose a bit more and live life a bit more as well.
I love that. Do you know what? I feel like my second thing for you would definitely be, okay, what I admire about you, and I think you've influenced me in it. So we're quite like, we love to, do our makeup, look nice, like be prep and prime, still have fun, but we have such a like, when we put our mind to something, especially when we want to showcase something, we go for it. And I feel like watching you and how organized you are when it comes to like, when it comes to gala stuff or your birthday, I feel like that really inspired me to be more like, actually, I'm lit too. Like I should be able to like showcase this in a better level. So I feel like your work ethic in the sense of how you present your projects, I just love. Like you like help me, like inspire me to, but actually get Chris, my editor, to do a bit more. Like, do you know what I mean? So I think that's really good. You're so like focused when it comes to like what you go for, and I love that about you. You just go for it.
Thanks, babe. And another thing that you've influenced me is like, I love how like you always, even though I feel like I do too, but I feel like even if you're really tired, you'll still put that extra effort in to do your wig or lay your wig. Even though I don't feel like mine would be that mad, but mine will just be like, well, it will look better if I take it off and redo the whole thing. And I'm like, wow, like you're really gonna take off the whole wig, do the whole wig cap and just do it all over again. She's like, yeah, but babe, I just love the look. It lifts my face and like my eyes is like lifted. And I'm like, you will really go that extra mile to look good.
To feel good as well.
Feel good. Yeah.
It's like a confidence thing. Like I love how it makes me feel. Another thing that I think I'm influenced now, because I feel like I was so, I wouldn't say a walkover, but I wouldn't be able, sometimes didn't have much of a voice, especially when it comes to like when I'm not comfortable about something, or if I'm not happy about something, I'll just let it just happen just to avoid those kind of conversations. And I feel like you've influenced me to be more vocal and also be very assertive, because you're very organized and you kind of set your boundaries. That's what I love about you. Like, I feel like that's why people don't take the piss, because they just know they can't kind of thing. And I think I've been influenced to be way more like strong and confident in my nose, and if in my actually I don't want to do that. And also I used to be such a okay yes and then regret it after. Now I feel like you influenced me to kind of like, before I agree,
like, just think about it
about it first. I always think you have to do something to sometimes it's all right to be like, no, I need to put myself first. So there's been so many situations, even with hairdressers and getting bumped. Like I used to get bumped left, right and centre like all the time. So there was one time I was going to agree to, I think, do my hair and pay a certain price, something like that. And I think I was going to do promotion on top of it. It was just all a lot of me going out of my way for someone else, which didn't make sense. And Adeola was like, actually, no, Maz, that doesn't make sense. Like, make sure you say this, make sure you can't do that. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You just do that to me all the time. Yeah. Like, you're kind of like someone that you just think a bit more.
Yeah. It's funny, I feel like...
Because there's so many, like, it's hard to really think. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like the things that you love about me are the opposite things to what I love about you.
In what sense? Like...
So, because you're like, oh yeah, you're so assertive, this and that, but then I love how you're so friendly.
Oh!
Yeah, because then I'm like, might as well guys, she'll talk to everyone and she's just so inviting. And then I just think, maybe, I feel like I want to be more inviting, like maybe
But I feel like you have been though. I have noticed...
Because of you though. It's your influence. Yeah. Like I'd think about, like, sometimes even before I reply, I do, my automatic thing will be like, no, I actually don't want to do it. Like I don't want to chill with you like that, or spend time with you like that.
Yeah.
I'll think, oh, I don't want to call this person back. But in my head, I'm like, oh, Maz will probably... And that's what I like about Maz. So maybe I should actually just
do that.
Just, call back and be more friendly to other people
and
just be more inviting.
I love that. I'm trying to even think, is there any bad influences you've had on me? Like, what's a bad... I don't think... Okay, right. The only bad influence I'll say is... I feel like if you don't want to do something, I don't want to do something.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I said is bad. Like, if Adeola doesn't want to do something and I've agreed to it and she's not doing it, I'm like,
Same.
I don't want to do it. Is that a bad influence? Or
I feel like that's a bad influence with each other. Maybe because we're so comfortable with each other now.
Yeah, that the
changing it up or switching it up now without the other is just a bit like... I don't know if I want to do it now.
Yeah, like,
because I feel like I can do something that I don't want to do if you're doing it. So it's easier for me to do it.
Yeah, same, exactly. Well, speaking of like influencing and stuff, do you feel like we have influence? We like with our career, with what we do. Do you feel like we hold weight to say that? Yeah, we actually influenced certain things or certain trends. I don't even know if it's a trend.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be an award handed over to us.
Yeah.
For elevating UK gala dressing,
especially in the urban industry. Yeah, I agree.
Because I feel like all of this stuff was going on before, and I feel like not even to be
especially
big-headed.
pre-COVID. Yeah, like if we go from pre-COVID, it was going on, but the level wasn't the level it is now.
I don't know about you actually, but I was never invited to anything like that.
No, not until after COVID. Yeah, started doing a bit more.
So it was like I never saw anyone dress on our level.
Yeah.
And then
especially from the GRM, right?
Yeah, from the GRM. That's where I would say it started. It started from the GRM, the first one that me and Maz went to, because they had one before that.
Yeah, and do you know what's so funny, guys? When we were invited, me and Adeola were like, okay, let's check what they were wearing last year. And it was nice, but I don't think it was, when you think of a gala or when you think of like an award, it wasn't the level that me and Adeola expected. And I remember us having the conversation, we're like, let's just go in. Yeah. Like, that's how we are naturally. Why not? Like, we need to, we even said like, let's just set pace. Like, if someone needs to do it, because I think all the stuff we saw before was still quite, it wasn't to where everyone now stressing, finding designers, because the levels have been leveled up. And I think we played a big part in that.
And I feel like it's kind of like gone unnoticed, like, and then it's like now anytime there's an award show or a gala within our culture, I'll say, because I'm not gonna go outside of that, but within the urban industry, everyone finna looking for tailors, everyone's sourcing dresses, everyone's hiring videographers, photographers,
stylists, assistants to help them,
and then they're making it a whole production, which is fine because that's a good. It's a good influence. It's nice to see. But I definitely feel like we influenced it.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like it's not a cocky thing, it's just the truth.
Yeah, literally.
It's just the truth. But I'm actually happy because I think it makes those events more fun, because you're just more excited to see what everyone else is wearing. Let's all go together, let's get photos together. It just makes sense. And
now when you're looking at, what did people wear last year? It's more exciting and it's more inspiring because it's like, okay, this is, people actually took their time to think about what they were going to wear. Yeah. It seemed like the other years before, people were just going into these high street stores and just wearing these riffraff.
And on top of that, it's like
respectfully,
it's made, I feel like since then as well, I've noticed on the TL that the UK babes get so much love.
Excited as well.
I feel like it's pushed us to like such an elite position, as especially within the industry that we're in. When UK girls show up, do their hair, get glam for these events, they go in. And I think a lot of the time, for a long time, it was just Americans that even for prom, like they were going hella extra for prom. So it's like, no, we need to show them that UK babes, especially Nigerian UK babes, we shut it down. So it was. I feel that we did definitely play a big part in that shift. So, and now think about it. The next Squat Card is coming. Everyone is excited. Everyone wants to know the theme. Everyone wants to step out. Like, it's a big deal. We need to, as Black people, just show that we can do it even better.
Literally, a lot of people that I would look up to is Americans, and they're extra with everything they do. Like, they will literally have a photo shoot for hitting 10k, 20k, and I think that's where I got my inspiration from. But there was no one in the UK that I could be like, let me see like what they're doing, or like, oh, she's definitely gonna do something extra because she's hit so and so. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like with me, like I will literally just go in with my photo shoots, have a whole production for it, and there was no one really that I would see doing that. And I feel like now a lot more people do photo shoots, are a bit more extra with their photo shoots. I think the first one I done was the one with the pink, and then I kind of was doing it for a bit. And I think that's why I don't even really do it as much now, because I just feel like everyone just does it.
Do you feel like it's kind of hard to influence and get the credit for it, because it's so quick for one person to do something and boom, someone else does it and their stuff might pop off more? Because there was one influencer that I used to follow. No, I still follow her. I don't know if you remember her. She used to do like makeup videos, but she would do hers like with music, and then the objects will
come on,
and then she'll be like,
screen.
she was lit. And I remember one time she made some big thing, like a paragraph about it, and she said she's not doing it anymore because she was never created it for them and people were copying her ideas. So it's like, why must I show my skills and not get the recognition, and other people gain from it from copying? So it's a hard ball game, isn't it, trying to be an individual?
It's even harder when it's like people kind of low-key copy it, and it's like they're afraid to say that, oh my gosh, I saw it from her and she's lit, or they don't want to like follow you. It's like, you're not even following me. You don't even interact with my content. You act like I don't even exist. But low-key, you're taking all this inspo from me. So why not just follow me as well, because you're influenced?
Do you know what I mean? So it's crazy.
But I feel like it's kind of like you have to get to a point where you just kind of like take it on the chin. You don't take it personally. Otherwise, you'll literally just be turning yourself mad and bitter.
Yeah. And I feel like everything is evolution. Like the way content kind of gets reused, recycled, remade. Like when you think about even YouTube formats, you see what's popular now, so people go and do it to make it their own. But are they giving recognition for the original concept?
And then sometimes people are getting influenced by stuff and they actually genuinely, they don't even know what the original is anymore.
Yeah, that's so true.
So it's like you might bump into someone and you're like, oh, I think she was inspired by me, but she's probably seen it from someone else that was inspired by you, and she hasn't actually seen that it was you were the start.
Exactly.
So it's hard to really see things and be like, oh yeah, they're inspired by me and them and them and them and them, because it's just like a domino effect.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there was, I'm trying to think if there was anyone that I was truly inspired by that I have not give credited to, like I've not credited.
I remember there was this one time I done a YouTube video.
Oh my God, what?
Babe, yeah. There was this one time I done, it's actually quite funny to be fair. So there's this YouTuber called Only Bells.
Yeah.
And she done a YouTube video saying, it was this trend going about I spent £300 on beauty maintenance or something like that. And
I remember that trend.
She done a video, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I really like this video. Like I do maintenance anyway. Like I want to do a video like that. So I done a video like that and then in the comments or in the description box, I can't remember where I put it, but I put it somewhere. And I was like, oh, I really saw this video, but it was written like, so I was like, oh, I really saw this video from Only Bells and I really liked it. You guys should check her out. So obviously done a video now, probably people must have sent, like people that watch the video, like you know how subscribers are, must have sent the video to her. And like, have look,
you seen?
And I think maybe people think that, not that I'm, you know, when you kind of have a lot of followers, people kind of feel like you're trying to take from someone and like acts like you were the one that done it, even though that's not even your intention. But sometimes you just, it's not my fault I have more followers, do you know what I mean? Yeah. So then I think people were sending it to her, and then she must have made a tweet like, something, I don't know exactly what she tweeted, but it was along the lines of like, oh, I must be a real influencer then, seen as like, I'm like influencing people.
These are causing drama.
Babe, and when I saw that, I was like, like people are like really like trying to indirect when it's not even that, when I fully gave you credit.
Yeah.
So I DM'd her and I was like, oh, hey, babe, I sent her the tweet or replied to the tweet.
I love that. See what I mean?
Because, babe, it's like, I don't like when I feel like people are trying to like
draw me out
when that's not even the case. So I messaged her and I was like, oh, babe, like, I don't know if you actually clicked on the video, but I did credit you in the comments. But obviously, if you just watch the video and you don't look at the description or the comments, you wouldn't know that. And she was like, oh my gosh, babe, yeah, like, she was really understanding. She was just like, oh yeah, no, I didn't know that. Like, I think people were just sending it to me, and obviously she must have seen the title and the video, and then just have been like, rah, like, she's defo not copied my video, but I
don't think she was the first one. I'm sure like it was American.
I think maybe it was American, but in the UK.
No, I feel like it was Patricia Bright.
No.
With Patricia Bright, do you know I spent so many on that whole
No, but that was
Patricia.
On clothes. That Patricia was doing the clothes one. I spent this much on Fashion Nova.
But the whole point of that concept is that you basically say you say a big amount and then you spend. Yeah, so regardless.
But she was the first one to do it in the UK for beauty maintenance.
Oh, okay.
Patricia was always like doing the clothing like hauls.
I spent so much on this.
Yeah,
okay,
and then she done the beauty. You know, like people like even though something is on trend, people switch it up to make it their own, to make them a bit different in something that's already trending. So anyway, I messaged her and I was like, oh, just clearing it up, and she was so understanding. She was like, oh yeah, no, I totally missed it, and it was like calm and like. We follow each other now. I interact with her stuff, and it's just really nice. Good vibes. It's like sometimes it's subscribers that plot these little seeds. And
you've had that before. Oh my! And damn, someone made a comment, right?
Oh yeah. So I wore this outfit, like these boots and a skirt. I think this one was a bit of a stretch though. I wore boots and a skirt, and I didn't realize. I think it was either a week before or within that week, India also wore a boots and a skirt, and people were like, LOL, why are you trying to be India so bad? And I was like, huh?
Why? They love to pin black women against each other.
Literally. And then I was thinking, what are they talking about? And then obviously when I saw like, oh, she wore like boots and a skirt kind of thing. But I feel like boots and a skirt, it's just such a stretch. Like loads of people, that was kind of like, but I don't even know.
Everyone was wearing boots
and a skirt.
That's that era. Everyone's just wearing boots and a skirt.
So I feel like that was just a bit of a stretch. But it just goes to show how your followers or your subscribers can really try and make things a thing.
I had a situation with that. It nearly like caused me and Matisse. She was in the show, I was on Survival of the Fittest, and we were really close. And I would be doing fashion videos, but she would also be doing fashion videos. And the subscribers, it was as if they didn't like it. They'll just be saying stuff, and that literally nearly caused arguments because they put plant seeds, and I think it's because they probably really do love their supporter, and they probably think, she
wants her to get the credit. They want you to get
and which is lovely, but sometimes, guys, it is not that deep.
And sometimes it's not intentional as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Even it happens to these big celebs. They'll be true. Obviously, sometimes they are really just taken from smaller creators, and then because they're bigger scale, they look like they're set trenders, especially within the Kardashians. They do that a lot. But sometimes it's like, maybe they don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then because you're the bigger follower out of the two, you have the biggest following out of the two, you're the bad guy.
Yeah, 100%. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But yeah, just to run that off, I just feel like sometimes when people have core supporters, sometimes they do just
naturally defend without there being an actual issue.
And it's kind of innocent, but it kind of causes things that doesn't need to happen.
Exactly. Wow.
Hey Peaches, so if you're enjoying this episode, you already know you can listen to this on BBC Sounds. We have a new episode out every Friday. Now, let's get back to the video.
But it's so crazy because there's like, I feel like at the moment there's just so many different types of trends. Like even when we think of podcasting, I feel like podcasting right now is a trend.
It's a trend, yeah.
Even let's think of something as simple as like the way people do makeup, brows is all a trend. Yeah. But there's good trends and bad trends. But do you think there's been any bad trends that you tried that you saw off of socials, off of YouTube and stuff like that? Because a lot of things that I try is off of word, like seeing it go viral or watching like maybe my favorite influencer talk about it, and I'm seeing what they're talking about thinking, I want to try that.
Literally.
Have you ever tried? Because we talk about our teeth, that was something that was influenced, but has there been anything else?
So yeah, I think there was a time, not that I think, there was a time years ago I was influenced to try this it's not a medicine, it's like a syrup to bring you more increase your appetite, called apetamin. And I was influenced by watching a YouTuber that I follow. She reviewed it basically saying that it allowed her to put on all this weight. And I didn't even bother researching the ingredients. I didn't bother researching about the brand. I just thought well, she said she does it and it looks good. So, and then I used to see loads of other videos come up on the side where other people were trying it.
And usually when people do videos, especially back then, everything seems so much more positive compared to how it is now. Like now when you watch videos, people will give you more pros and cons and regrets and all of this. But back then it was just like, I went to this, do this, or I done this, and it was perfect for me.
Literally. And then when I got it, and then I was seeing how it was making me feel very drowsy and like I couldn't do stuff, I'd be getting headaches. I was like, okay, I can't take this anymore. To later find out, I think it even became illegal. And then I was seeing all these bad reviews about it. And I was like, it's actually crazy. Like sometimes you actually can't just be jumping on all these trends just like that. You actually have to take time.
Research and stuff like that. My story with Epitamin was, mine was pretty much similar to yours. Like, I was always wanting to gain weight because for some reason being skinny was just not it. It's just not it. So during that period, being skinny wasn't it. So I wanted to put on weight, and Epitamin was something that was so accessible. Like I'll be going to the market with my mom, and it's like all on the shelves, and it just seems like, why would that be a bad thing? So one time I brought it, and then I took 1 tablespoon. I don't think I even read the instructions properly, so that's dangerous. But I took 1 tablespoon, and no word of lie, I slept for 24 hours.
Wow.
It knocked me out so much. And I remember, like, after like 5-10 minutes, my body was just feeling like I felt like I couldn't function. And I just remember just crawling myself to bed, lights out, and I woke up the next day. My mum, my dad, no one understood. I was living at home then as well. And I read somewhere that a woman was driving, and she had, I don't know if you read it. I think I've said it before, but she was driving, but she had taken Epitamin, and she ended up crashing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, because that thing will knock you out. Like, I always used to think, well, it's not going to make me drowsy. I can fight through any drowsiness. But that one, I was like, okay, I need to sleep.
It's much. But it's illegal now. Like, I do not take it. I would never want to take it. Like, it's just not the thing. It's not, I just don't think it's a good option to put on weight.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why now I'm so conscious of like things that I actually promote.
Yes,
like before, when I first started, I don't think I really understood
the influence I
have. So I wouldn't even research myself on things that I'm putting out there. And so even now, there's certain things that even if I am doing it and I know that it's not bad, but how other people may perceive it, and I don't want to put that image out there, I would just not promote it. Like, I'll just be like, do you know what, let me just pay for it, because it's just my thing. It's not everything that I need to be like, guys do this, or guys I'm doing that, because even though I might be saying something that I'm not necessarily being like, yeah, guys, go do it. There's people out there that just are influenced by you so much, they will still just go and do it.
Yeah, they'll still go and book the appointment, and they
won't even bother researching themselves.
Yeah, and also as well, I know it sounds really mad, but sometimes when you think of the level of like, okay, so you're going to get something done, even though you're an influencer, whatever, entertainer, whatever you want to call it, doesn't mean that normal person, that subscriber, will get the same experience based on the fact that well, they're not probably going to do a whole YouTube about it. They're not going to have 500,000 people watching it or, taking notes. So I get it's a bit scary like that. So imagine it went good for you. You've told them, but then boom, it doesn't go good for them. You see a lot of the times when I've seen like the BBL stories where your favourite influencer will go and get it, and then you'll go and then they had the worst experience, and you're there promoting it positively. It's all messy. Sometimes you got to do it like that,
Hair like this is the press hotline.
Okay, guys, so we're going to move on to the hotline. What has our Peaches pressed this week? But before we do that, I do want to say, Peaches, it is a WhatsApp. So we are asking for visual dilemmas now. So when you're sending in what has you pressed, you can do a little video. We actually want to see what you look like, what your hair's like, what your clothes is like, what your lips, nose, what your accent is like. So send us some visuals if you want. Obviously, if you don't, no pressure. But, let's just get a bit closer. But we're going to move on to the first hotliner. Hey, AP and Maz. So here is my dilemma. My boyfriend and I have a shared bank account which we put a decent chunk of savings into every pay cycle because we're saving up for a house. I'm pressed because he takes money out of the account, usually when he goes out, without communicating with me, even though he puts it back, usually within a week or sometimes without me even noticing. We've discussed it before, and ideally, I prefer the money not to be touched unless of any real emergency. His argument is that it's also his money and that he puts it back anyway. My questions are, is a shared account a good idea to begin with? And am I tripping for feeling disrespected by him by doing this? Love you both.
That's a good one. We haven't had like something this serious
this
before.
Is a good one.
Okay, your thoughts first and I'll give you mine.
So my thoughts first is kind of slightly depends how long you've been together.
Yeah.
But I do slightly feel like it's good because it kind of teaches you how that person is with money. Like, for example, some people are, if I put money in my savings account, I am not touching it. The money doesn't exist to me. Whereas some people can have a savings account and like, well, it's saved money. If I need it, I can go in it quickly and then it's okay, I'll put it back. And to them, that's fine. So I feel like having the discussion probably would have been better before you actually set up that account to be like, what's your thoughts on that? And then you can have the boundaries set.
Yeah.
But he's probably used to like, if I put money away, if I really need it, I'll go into it rather than, I don't know, he probably obviously doesn't have the money in his main.
Yeah.
Why would I go into my minus and get charges if I've got money tucked away somewhere and then I'm going to put it back when I get the money?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like two different views. I feel like for me, that will kind of like mentally note, I'll be like, I don't think you're good with money.
Yeah, and is it mad that you kind of always want your boyfriend or your husband
to
be better than you? Like I see it as, first of all, like it's good to start saving young because I'm expecting they're a bit young. Like they're saving for a house, and that's really good goals. But something like a house, if I have a partner, that's just something we both know we're not touching. Like for us to touch it, it actually means it's an emergency. Like it's not something that's that easy and just be taking it without noticing. Because then that makes me question, like, is this how you're going to be like with other things that... I know when you're in a relationship, you're meant to be half and half, you share, do you know what I mean?
But you're meant to see it as one.
You're still, but still communication, it's like, it's even like friendship, like I'll still ask you, oh babe, can I borrow this? Even though you're most likely going to say yes, you might not even notice if I borrowed it. It's still kind of that respect. It's just a respect level to show that I respect you.
Or at least a heads up. Like, babe, I'm gonna take £200 from a saving because I'm going out. Sorry, I'm a bit low, but I'm gonna put it back at this date. And even though you might be upset with it, the communication is nice. The whole like, but it's my money and I put it away is kind of like you're separating it. And if that's how you want it to be, you set up your own savings account with your personal bank.
Yes, that you can go in and out.
And you go and save, and I'll set my personal savings account with my bank, and then let's say it's next year, let's all bring our 10k together when we're ready to buy the house, and we'll buy the house. You don't have to have it together because clearly you don't see it as a partnership.
Exactly. And on top of that, imagine if both of them were moving like that. How would they ever get to tally? That's how things get lost, and that's how I think it gets too laid back. You know, once you start dipping and you know you can and can't, it kind of starts to lose track. And then when that starts to lose track, that affects the relationship. And one thing is, money is a big part of a relationship. As much as you don't want it to be, is how your partner manages money, how he values money, how he takes money. It all adds up to like your future. So I don't think she's mad for how she's feeling. I think
what would you do in that situation?
I would talk to, I've had a similar situation though, because I've obviously been in a long-term relationship. So we'd had like plans for the future. We've done stuff together, like commitments wise. So, but it's never been like that. But if it's someone just goes in, once I feel like, I don't like the idea of that. Like, if I always make it clear, if we're starting something together, you can't touch it. Like, I started the business with one of my partners, and even with the business at that time, it was evident, like, no matter what is made in, it's not for me and you. It's like a future thing. Like, I don't see that as something I can touch at all. Like, it's either reinvestment or it's just piling up. So
like, let that money go.
Yeah,
once you put it
exactly.
in. If you know that money is a stretch to you, don't put it in the account. So if it's like your last bit that you're already going to be managing, cut it out. Rather you put in less than having to keep going in and out of it. So maybe have a discussion about how much you guys are saving away. Maybe he's overestimating how much he can commit to.
Because I get it. Because don't you think it is nice to see it in the account? Like, you can see it physically. Because like, I think for me, moving how I would want to like be in whatever relationship I have, I just have my, you know, I say I've got my 10K or 20K, whatever saved. That's towards either my house if I decide to buy by myself, or if I'm at a stage where I actually want to use that to buy with my partner. He will know vocally, like, I have savings for a house.
Yeah.
Do you have savings for a house? How much do you think you have? Okay, this is how much I have. Let's put all of this together, put yours together, and we can add this much to make it, but this can't be touched. So communication is key. Just to be honest with him. And if he moves weird about it, I think I would think he'll be the type of man that wants to kind of have a bit more control with the money, even if you're both putting it in. He gives me that.
Yeah, and I feel like if he's moving a bit, not
like it's mine too.
It, maybe because sometimes in some relationships, some people are better at certain things than others. So maybe it might have to be a whole different setup. Like maybe you have that account and he doesn't have access to that account or something, and he sends you the money. Once he sends it to you, he has no access to actually getting it.
I bet he won't like that.
He probably won't like that, but it's like there needs to be a way of
both feeling she needs to feel comfortable too.
So yeah.
Oh wow, what an interesting one.
Obviously, talking about shared bank accounts, you said you've never had a shared bank account.
No, I've never had a shared bank account. Like we've done like Monzo pots before, where we like put money to save for something, but never like an actual whole account in each of like in a name. Like I think that's too much of a commitment, and I don't think it's ever been. I feel like I've always been ready, but I don't think.
Guys are a bit funny about that.
How about you?
No, I haven't, but I've had like a shared. He would give me money. Oh, babe, I used to get like an allowance.
Ooh, you really live soft life, yeah.
But like he always felt like he had to be the man.
Yeah.
So he would give me money to save for him. So he'll be like, if I'll be going on holiday, he'll be like, take whatever you need from there. Wow. And it was just
you've really enjoyed. Like even when you told me about that Thailand holiday, babe, you've enjoyed.
But babe, enjoyment like that comes with
headache.
Big headache. But I don't know if you saw the thing about Gabrielle Union about how she works the finances in her household, so they split everything 50-50. I kind of wanted to know what you think about that, especially because you've actually lived with a man outside of just being in uni, because I don't take uni seriously.
Yes, same.
Uni's a bit like everyone has to live with everyone kind of thing. So that was like an actual relationship where you live together with bills and rent to pay.
Oh my God.
What was the setup like with that?
So from what I remember, because it's actually come up to like 5 years ago, I can't believe how quick it's gone, but it was, I feel like it was 50-50. And I think the reason why it was 50-50 was just because I earned more.
Okay.
So I feel like I remember paying rent, but it wasn't that much because obviously this was like not central. This wasn't even in London, so it was way cheaper.
Yeah.
And I don't think I paid for the internet. I don't think I paid for the internet.
So you were covering as in the whole rent?
No, I paid we both paid half rent.
And then you would kind of like split everyone would
have
responsibility for
I don't even think I paid the internet or anything like that, to be honest. I think I just paid rent. And then, and gas. And then
half of the rent though?
Yeah, half of the rent. I paid half the rent and he paid rent. And I think how I ideally would want it to be would be like my partner pays more rent than I would pay rent.
Yeah.
If we're doing like that, hoping that he earns more. But because obviously I knew I was earning more, so I just felt like, let's just be I wasn't trying to pay more, but let's just be fair and I'll do 50-50 kind of thing. So that's how it was. And even with that kind of dynamic, I don't know, it was all right. It was, I didn't really have a problem with it, but now.
Would you pay 50-50 now? Like again? How do you feel about a 50-50 split household? Because I wouldn't want a 50-50 split.
I don't think I'd want it either. Like, I feel like it depends. It just all depends, doesn't it? Don't you think? Because you know, sometimes you don't know till you meet the partner.
True. But because I was having this discussion with a guy that I was dating, because he actually asked it to me, and I was like, I feel like I would want my man to cover the bills, such as the mortgage.
Yeah, same.
I would want him to definitely. I don't want to pay the mortgage. That's just one bill.
Yeah, is that that in your family? Because my dad pays the mortgage, all the bills. Maybe that's why. Yeah, that's why my dad
pays the mortgage.
Same.
And even if my mum's gonna contribute, it would be to like the bills, like
or she
gas or electricity. But that's not. it's all still not even in her name.
Yeah, and even things like if, for example, because my dad covers the house, if like the TV breaks or the sofa, we need a new sofa, my mum would do stuff like that, or the washing machine, that's her, like just doing them little things. Like maybe if the boiler breaks, my mum would be like, oh, I'll cover it because my dad pays the heating anyways.
Else.
You get it?
That's
so,
what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't mind my man covering the big boy bills, and then I'll make sure there's food in the house. I'll do the groceries.
100%. Take his his laundry to, you know, what's it, tailors. You run around, like be a mother and a wife, like a proper wife that looks after their husband.
How can you say a proper wife?
Because you
What's
know,
not
like
a proper wife?
No, I was listening to this podcast, right? And this guy was saying how, like, a lot of the times us girls, we have the expectation of a man should be able to provide and do all these things, but on top of like icing us out and designing, like doing all the Chanel bags and stuff like that.
What part do you
want to do? And I do understand that. I feel like it is so important that as much as, you know, we're making a guy be a man by taking care of us, but we have to also know that we're women for a reason. So let's make sure we at least do our part. Like, I'd be more than happy to, even if I've had a long day, like I still want to make sure, like after my husband's long day, he's paying all the bills, I want to have dinner cooked for him on a table, massage his back, like
to cook my man.
Yeah.
And like, when I say my man, I mean my husband.
My husband.
Like, it's like if I get in and I'm really tired, I would rather be like, okay, let me make you a good meal at that. Make sure your stuff is ironed. Yeah. And on top of that, I still want to do my work, but just because I know he's also working and paying
bills. And that's a different stress. Like, I think there's that pressure for men anyways, and I think it's so important for us women to kind of understand that, like just be understanding, because I feel like men hide their emotions and the pressure of what it means to be a man, especially in this day and age. So if we can make sure we are playing the part, it's not for everyone, but for me, I definitely,
and I think it's because I'm used to seeing my dad do those stuff as well. Like, he will just cover the bills, so it's just what I'm used to seeing.
Ooh, so we're kind of like, was it traditional girls?
Yeah, I think we're traditional wives with a bit of a modern twist.
Yes, I love that. Yeah.
It's time for Madness with Maz.
But speaking of joint accounts, it's time for Madness with Maz, because this really links into a tweet I saw about like what a man offers and if a man can really offer, if his standard is enough for a woman that's kind of self-made. Okay. So basically, we got a tweet from @Q_Mac with 2 C's. I'm going to read his tweet. It says, "I'll never forget going on a date with this new junt."
Defo American.
I've never heard of that. What's a junt?
Must be a woman.
A woman. All right, cool. I never forget going on a date with this new jaunt. She pulled up in a Mercedes G-Wagon, had on designer head to toe, a diamond choker chain, a Fendi fur jacket, and right in that moment, I knew I would never hit her up again after that, because what the F am I going to do for her for real? Laughing face. And this one, once again, like our last tweet, did really well on numbers. It had 16.2 million views. So loads of people saw it. And I think it really links to what we're talking about, the joint account. And I want to say that I get what he's saying, but also I can counteract it. So do you want to, you want to.
Low key, I feel like this is giving insecure.
Okay.
But then another low key, I kind of think if you're going on a first date, I do kind of think it's a bit intimidating.
That is a lot. That's your first impressions. You've already said it on the jump that I have a nice car. I wear designer like it's nothing. My chain, like I like bling
it's
bling.
Like you're just speaking very loudly. Like even if I was to go on a date with a man and he was doing too much, it would just be a lot for me. If I saw a man, it's like head to toe in designer.
Because you're basically saying I'm rich.
Yeah,
you look like, rich.
That's fair enough, but it's if it's for like you can show me that in other ways, but if it's the first date, like let's just do chill.
Yeah.
All you need to do is a nice watch.
Yeah, that's enough. That will keep me glued in enough.
That's already keep me glued in. Do you know what I mean? And then let's get to know each other. Exactly. But head to toe, like it's a bit loud.
And don't you think that
it's a bit distasteful?
Yeah, I think that's a good way of saying it. And I feel like for a lot of men, maybe they feel like, I think they think that's what all women want because of the culture we're in right now. Like the music we listen to is if he's not paying, if he doesn't have this, if he adores me. Like, so I think there's a lot of pressure for men. And think about it, like if someone's like that in the beginning, let me just switch. Hold it.
I'm going to do this so I remember.
Just remember it. If someone's like that in the beginning, that's literally the first impression. That's already set in pace for what to expect for the rest of the dating, the rest of the relationship. So I get it when he says, what can I offer her? However, Sometimes a woman generally just wants loyalty, commitment, someone to listen to, good sex, and a good boyfriend. And doesn't mean that you need to buy me all that. But it's hard because I think she's already made it clear, like, this is who I am. Like, this is me. Do you know what I mean? I always be like, I don't go drip. I'm not a drip out person anyways, like designer like that. But my first impression is just making sure I look nice rather than let him know I've got money. Because I don't need you to know I've got money. I want you to know me first before, you know.
But when I would say that, obviously, in the position I'm in now, I would say that I'm on a good wage. Like, I'm comfortable wage. So I don't really think too much about what I'm gonna wear on a date. Like, even though, let's say I have like all these designers in my closet, I would naturally just go for something more that looks nice rather than a branded item. Whereas
very loud.
Whereas before I was in this position, I cared more about wearing designer. Like, if I would be meeting someone for the first time, like, even if it was something I couldn't afford or if it was a dupe, I would be like, okay, let me take this Gucci bag, which it wasn't even real, because it's like I wanted to put across this person that's persona that I think I wanted him to see me as, to think like, okay, she's well put together, because in my mind, being well put together was having all these designer things, but maybe that's because at the time is what I was aspiring to be able to afford. Whereas now I'm in a position where I could probably afford all of that and I still don't even buy it, and I don't feel the pressure to turn up wearing all those items.
Don't you think it makes you ask the question, is that, like, do you think there's a false reality of what being rich is now because of how social media is and how what we take in from music to, like, what goes viral to what we see? Because realistically, I just see it as in your early 20s, like, I don't know, their mental health must be off the roof, because it just seems as if, like, a lot of men are supposed to be sorted. Basically, I feel like how the dating pool is, I think a lot of girls are expecting men or boys in their early 20s, late 20s to be at a successful level, which is not realistic. The successful level is probably what you'll get to when you're in your 40s. That's what I see, and I think that puts a lot of pressure. So that's like, that would put him off, because he's like, listen, I'm not there yet. You're already there. We don't even know if that's a rented G-Wagon as well. That's what I'm saying. It's all perception.
Like it's all image. Like, most people that have the most money are never dripped down like that.
Never.
But then the people that don't, they always come in that. So even me personally, when I see a guy drip down, in my head, I don't assume, oh my God, he's got money.
Yeah.
But if I was talking to a guy and he's like proper, like, he still looks nice and he's telling me, I got this house and I got this house, then I'm like, my brain starts like, oh my gosh, he must have money.
Yeah.
But I don't
see him.
Do
you know what? Now. I need to tell you a thingy, how I felt, right? So basically, obviously, I feel like I'm in a position where now, like, if I wanted to, especially when you book it in advance, like getting a business class ticket, I can definitely do. So one time I went on holiday and I just felt I don't explain it. Like, I was in my LV tracksuit, I had the Gucci duffel bag, but I just felt like I'm doing a lot. I'm not even in business. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I don't need to do that, but I just felt that it was nice to have that perception to feel rich, but it's like, but I'm not actually rich, because if I was rich in this, I should be in business, because no, it's stupid. I couldn't spend 7k on a flight.
Show off on all this luggage.
I just felt so stupid, like carrying my Gucci going back to economy at the back. Like, nothing's wrong with it, but it just, I know what you mean. It's like, it's a perception that sometimes you don't need to do, like, and I feel like it makes people feel, it can just be so uncomfortable, but oh gosh.
Let us know what you think is about that topic. And on that note, we're out.
Basically. And let us know, guys. Make sure you #pressed podcast. Want to be seeing your tweets. And
don't forget about the visual hotlines as well, please. And we will see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching, Peaches. Remember, you can listen to every episode of Pressed on the BBC Sounds and be the first to see more from us right here. Make sure you're subscribed to the BBC Sounds YouTube channel.